everybody. So today I'm going to be talking a little bit more about one of my favorite tests for anxiety, which is the HTMA. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper today into exactly how this test can explain if you've been struggling with anxiety and give you some answers as to why. So I've talked to a lot of you, and oftentimes what I hear when I ask what's getting in the way of you getting to the goal of whether it's being the best mom or, being calm during the day and being able to enjoy the beautiful moments in life, or stopping those racing, worrisome thoughts that are really taking you away from your moments and from just being able to be present like maybe you used to be. And a lot of you are answering that the reason this is a challenge for you is because you can't control your mindset, or you're not trying hard enough around your thoughts, or you just need to figure out a strategy to calm down. And I want to ask you, what if the answer was a little bit different? What if it all wasn't about you putting in this crazy effort or you learning these therapy or calming techniques, but what if the answer was actually you rebalancing minerals? So that's like a whole new way of looking at things, and it's a whole new way of understanding what your actual healing journey is. Because a lot of times, you hear your anxiety is just in your head, or doctors telling you that your blood work has come back normal and there's nothing you can do, when in fact, based on the HTMAs that I run with tons of women, a lot of their anxiety symptoms are quite evidently because they have very specific patterns of mineral imbalances. And so this can actually be a massive piece of the healing puzzle. So you've likely heard me talk about before some of the reasons why HTMA is a really great test to look at your hair and mineral analysis. So essentially what it's doing is it's giving us a snapshot of your minerals in the last 3 months. And here are some of the patterns that I tend to find with women who may have normal blood work, normal potassium levels, normal mineral levels, normal, calcium levels and things like that. And yet on their hair test, we can see that this is exactly why they're feeling what they're feeling. So the first thing I often see on a hair test is either lots of potassium in the hair or not enough potassium that's being released in the hair. And either way, it tells me that there is potassium deficiency. And so potassium deficiency can be a massive cause of anxiety. I've heard from some of you that, you've actually tested for potassium deficiency and come back deficient in your blood work, and then taken potassium and you've noticed huge differences. And one of the reasons why we're seeing huge differences when we take potassium is actually what happens is when your body is low in potassium, it actually will sequester a metal called thallium, and then you become thallium toxic. And thallium toxicity can actually lead to lots of symptoms of anxiety, including heart palpitations. And so it can really be one of the reasons why you're anxious. So not only can you be potassium deficient, but when women are potassium deficient, I also see thallium toxicity. So you get that double whammy. The other thing that I tend to see with women who are mineral imbalanced is I see high levels of sodium. And high levels of sodium can make you super irritable. So if you're listening to this and you're somebody who just feels on edge all the time, or you feel like you're, sort of very easily to be reactive and you're quite anxious, then it could be that your sodium is being deposited in your hair. So we're seeing those high levels of sodium in your hair. And this can actually be caused by a couple of different reasons. So one of the reasons we see high sodium on a hair test is because you may have lots of different metals stuck in your body. So it might not be obvious that you've had exposure to metals, but for whatever reason, you haven't been able to get those metals out of your body, and this is causing lots of inflammation. So inflammation is another reason that we see high sodium on a hair test. So not only will this test tell us, hey, we have high sodium levels, but it's going to tell us why. So it's going to get to some of the root causes of why you're experiencing this imbalance in your minerals that's then causing your anxiety. Another thing I often see, and let me know if this is you, if you're somebody who feels like you can't enjoy those things that you used to enjoy. So if you feel like you're sort of in a tunnel or emotionally numb and you're really not connecting, whether it's spiritually or you're just not enjoying the things that you used to, you're feeling that disconnect. Often this is a result of something called a calcium shell. And so this can be the result of mineral imbalances as well. So when you have that calcium shell, you can tend to feel very, very numb. And this is often accompanied by feelings of anxiety. So if you're someone who's flipping back and forth between anxiety and depression, then maybe you have a calcium shell. And so this test can give you lots of different answers into exactly why you are feeling anxiety. And then the key part is you know what to do about it. So instead of, focusing on mindset and focusing on, meditations and things like that, while those things are helpful, if you continue to have that mineral imbalance, then it's going to continue to cause you issues. So how do you get a mineral imbalance? So there are a couple of reasons why. So if you've been on a birth control pill for over 2 years, so let me know in the comments, just type me if you've been on the birth control pill for over 2 years. So what that does is it creates this cascade of mineral issues which can then leave you depleted. So the longer you've been on the birth control pill or birth control in general, the more depleted you're going to be. So I've seen tons of women come to me who are extremely depleted, and when we dive into their history, they've often been on the birth control form of some form or another for quite a long period of time. If you've been stressed for a long period of time, which, because of COVID days, a lot of people have been really stressed about COVID, or they've come into COVID already being stressed, or they're having to deal with now being a mom and a parent, and that is obviously extremely stressful as well. What's going to happen is you're going to burn through your minerals quite quickly. And unfortunately, because of the way that our foods are today, we're not actually going to be able to replenish those minerals just by eating healthy. We're just not getting those mineral content in the food. And so as a result, we need to do work, whether it's having potassium broth or, boosting minerals through high dose supplements, that's really going to get that body back to the baseline, at which point you're going to start to feel a lot better. And so, knowing what your mineral status is and then knowing how to treat it can be absolutely massive. And so a lot of women, they treat their minerals and they feel better almost instantly. So I've gotten incredible feedback on, and this was the case with me, within just, a week of balancing minerals, my whole entire nervous system has settled down. So if you're wanting to know how to run an HTMA, so how to do this hair analysis, and you're thinking that maybe minerals is part of your picture, I am actually opening my membership up. So this is something I've never done before to the general public. Usually I just do it to clients that work with me, and then they can continue to work with me through the membership. So this is a very affordable way to run a hair test and get a protocol and get personalized support from me and access a whole bunch of other functional lab tests, including gut tests, the Dutch hormone test, which I know some of you are interested in. So if you're looking to get into those deeper root causes, then this is absolutely something you need to think about. So if you wanted to know more about it, just sign up for the VIP membership. The link is in the profile actually, and then I will let you know how you can join. All right. Well, thank you for joining me today, and I will talk to you next week.